Hey guys, it's me Dawson from Decoders. So in this presentation, I'll be talking about the power of compound interest. So huge shout out to Vaishnavi from our finance department for making this PPT. So let's get started, guys. So compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or a deposit, or in other words, interest on interest. It is the result of reinvesting interest rather than paying it out, so that the interest on the next period is then earned and the principal sum plus the previous accumulated interest. Compound interest is standard in finance and in economics. So what happens is compound interest is some kind of an interest where after a principal interest is generated, and after that the total amount is again compounded and it goes on. So compound interest is contrasted with simple interest, where previously accumulated interest is not added to the principal amount of the current period, so there is no compounding. The simple annual interest is the interest amount paid multiplied by the number of periods per year. So in simple interest, what used to happen is only the principal used to get multiplied. But what happens in compound interest is the after after applying the simple interest, the amount is again multiplied by the interest, so that itself gets compounded over time. So the compounding frequency, that is the number of times per year, or rarely another unit of time, the accumulated interest is paid out or capitalized, earned, credited to the account on a regular basis. The frequency could be yearly, half yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, or continuously, or not at all until maturity. So it can be frequency can be yearly, half yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, or continuously, or not at all until maturity. So the effect of compounding depends on the normal interest rate which is applied, and the frequency of the interest is compounded. So the power of compound interest. So the best way to ensure your future financial success is to start saving today. You can start saving today itself by managing your expenses. Even if you all have seems a partly some. Even if you have a little money, also if you start investing now, you can start investing only with 100 rupees. To be honest, you can invest in a good mutual fund. To be honest, the mutual fund which I would suggest, or like a friendly suggestion which I could give, is you can buy the ICICI Prudential Sensex fund, which is direct growth. To be honest, that is a very good fund. It is a Sensex, it's an index fund. So index funds are kind of good. Again, I'm not giving a recommendation to buy or sell. I'm not a SEBI registered financial advisor to give you, but as a friendly gesture I can tell you to invest there. So rights. So the amount of capital you start with is not nearly important as getting started early. So this is by Burton Matley in the Random Walk of Guide to Investing. So procrastination is the natural assassin of opportunity. Every year you put off investing makes you the ultimate retirement goals more difficult to achieve. So the miracle of compound interest is the secret to get rich slowly. Even the modest returns can generate real wealth given enough time and dedication, mainly time. In the short term, it doesn't make a huge difference, but don't let that fool you. On the slow, sure path of wealth, we need to keep focused on the long term goals. So how to get rich slowly? Start early. The younger you start, the more time the compounding will work in your favor and the wealthier you can become. The next big thing is to start early, is to starting now. So what you can do is you can start at a very early age. You can start at the early age, and if you start investing early, then you can really compound yourself within the time. And time is one of the most essential part when it comes to investing. The more time you give for your investment, the more returns it will give. Then secondly, make a regular investment. Don't be absurd. Remain disciplined and make savings for retirement a priority. Do whatever it takes to maximize your contribution. To try to maximize your contributions a lot, try to make sure savings for retirement a priority. Try to make regular investments. Don't be absurd, like do not do lump sum or all the kinds of things. SIP is kind of good. I can make a dedicated video on SIP versus lump sum on how it will affect. But in my eyes, SIP is good. That is systematic investment plan. Monthly, if you keep on saving, it's good. Then be patient. Don't touch the money. Compounding only works if you allow your investment to grow. So remember one thing: when you plant a seed, you can't expect it to grow into a tree day night. it takes time, right? So do not touch the money, keep it there only, be patient and be disciplined. To be honest, if you be disciplined, it is more than enough. The result may seem slow at first, but continue on, pursue. Most of the magic compounding returns comes at a very end. Compounding creates a snowball of money. At first your returns seem to be very small, but if you are patient, what happens is, in compounding, um, it's like what happens is, slowly it will grow, it will grow, it will grow, and you do not know, the growth rate will increase over time. So time is one of the most essential part. So there'll be three thumb rules, that is time, investment, and I do not know, I'll get back to it, but those three terminologies are there. Yeah, the amount, the time, and the rate of interest. So if these three things you manage properly, then you can generate a very good amount of return. So this is who yeah so this is Jessica, just has graduated from a college and is a stingy saver. Newman also is a graduated from student, but wanted more money, so he started saving at 25 years old. Let me take my marker. So at just 25 years old, she invests $5,000. At the age of 35 old, he invests twice as that, is a $10,000. Then she follows that by adding 2,500 each year until the age of 65. Here you can see, then he follows up with rupees 5,000 each year, and also 65 years old. So what happens is, here you can see, he started with $5,000. Here Jessica started with $10,000. Then by adding $2,500 each year until age, then he follows with $5,000 each year until he is 65 years old. So both investment yield an annual rate of 6%, which is the average annual rate of the stock market. So who has more money at the age of 25? You can see Jessica has 60,000 $608,000, where Newman has only 581 $581 dollars and 787 dollars point 76 cents. So you can see clearly that Jessica has more money. So what is the reason? The reason is, she started investing at 25 years old. So that you can see the time, how time plays a crucial role in the investment, to be honest. So that is the power of compound interest. That is, compound interest will work if you give it more time. So time is one of the most essential part when it comes to investment. So if you are giving more time to investment, you will get more returns. So compound interest and the time value of money. The foundation between compounding interest is the concept of the time value of money, which states that the value of money changes depends upon its receipt. Having 10,000 rupees today is preferable to receiving it in a year's time from now, because you can invest it to generate dividends and interest income. Compounding interest allows that money to grow. By postponing the receipt of the $10,000, the opportunity cost grows. Opportunity cost is the loss of possible gains if an action is not chosen. In this case, the amount of money you do not receive if you take no action with it. If you did not invest rupees 50,000, you would lose the opportunity to earn 5,000 you could have gained in a year. To resist the temptation of higher returns through risk, higher return rates can be dangerous, because higher return always bring back higher risk. Unless you know what you're doing, no matter how successful you are along the way, you'll always want to avoid possibly of losing more than a budgeted amount of investing principal. Benjamin Graham, who is also called as the father of value investing, was aware of this risk when he said that making more money has been lost by reaching little extra return or yield that has been lost to speculating. He wanted that it want to be the greatest temptation a new investor must face when building a portfolio. So Benjamin Graham, you might be knowing, he's the father of value investing, to be honest. So he said that little extra return or yield which have lost to speculating. He warned that it is one of the greatest temptations in new investors building a portfolio. That is, just a second, guys. When he said that more money has been lost reaching a little yield that has been lost to speculating. So speculation is kind of risky, to be honest. So you have to never speculate, and you need to resist the temper of high returns due to risk. So what happens is, mainly in the stock market, when you're investing, if you give it a long term perspective, like 3 to 5 years, at least 5 years if you give, then then history has proven that if you keep principal invested for 5 years, the returns are stunning good compared to any other investment. So calculation of compound interest is as follows. So compound interest formula is simple, is equal to P is equal to principal is equal to yeah where yeah P dash is the new principal is equal to the initial principal into 1 plus r divided by n. That is, r is the nominal rate of the annual interest, n is the compounding frequency, into then nt is there. Nt is the compounding frequency and t is the overall length of the time the interest is applied. So basis which you can basis that made us a bad investor. So our primitive brain is not developed fast enough to get rid of the need of the instant gratification. This need for instant gratification has been a cause of human obesity, excessive consumerism, among other things. In ancient times it was a crucial for our survival that we consume what we almost had immediately because someone else could steal it, or worse, kill us for it. Social media and the internet are not helping either cause either. Hence, we society must be growing more impatient by the day. The problem with investment is that if you haven't studied it even a little bit, it's tough to go against your primitive instinct and to think at long term. You need to train your mind to be more patient and not to fall into confirmation bias and make impulsive decisions. So patience is like a muscle to your train. So what happens is a bad investor, what he does is he gets emotional or gets sentimental and he tries to panic during a crash or something. But thing is a good investor will always be very agile and will be always patient and will always stick to his investment until he gets a good return. So lastly, as Albert Einstein quoted, and I quote, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. So this is the quote which is made by Albert Einstein. Why? Because compounding is such a magic that you can compound your money over time. You can do crazy amount of calculations, and compounding itself is a miracle, to be honest. The person who will understand it will earn it. Like if you invest, you will earn it. Who doesn't, if you take loan, you will be compounded over time. This is called as student debt trap, which the many education institutions are doing. That is, they force to take the loan and the loan gets compounded and the student will keep on paying the loan until and unless he dies. So that is called as a student debt trap. So that is the way by the corporates are trying to hammer down the innocent students by taking loans and all those stuff. So thank you very much, guys. Hope that, and a huge shout out to Vaishnavi. Guys, like, share, like, dislike, share, subscribe. But as usual, I would like to say is never